Thank you very much, Laurent, and thanks to Sina Schrader for inviting me to speak today. I and the company that I run, wywy, is definitely falling under the category of newcomers here. So compared to the previous two speakers, at least, my corporate marketing department is a lot smaller, if not to say non-existent. So if you want to compare the slide sets, that might be reflected. But nonetheless, I hope I have some interesting information for you on a newly emerging industry, the second screen industry. And that's where we as wywy are active, and that's what we see as a great opportunity for us and potentially many other startups in the years to come. TV meets mobile, that's important to mention. It doesn't say TV goes mobile, because what I'm not going to talk about is streaming to mobile devices, streaming to tablets, replacing the television screen. We actually believe that the television screen as we know it will certainly change in some ways, but the general usage behavior that has been established over the past decades will not change immediately. So therefore there will always be a main screen like this main screen here. But then what changes is the following usage behavior that pops up with the common increase of mobile devices, tablets and smartphones. And that's the fact that TV consumers nowadays are using another type of device at the same time in parallel while consuming television. And there are numerous studies out there. One that I quote here is from Nielsen, showing that 85% of all smartphone and tablet users use these devices while watching TV. And I guess each of you can see and witness that behavior when looking into your own living room and monitoring your own TV consumption behavior. So who has not been in the stadium but watched the television, the football match last night on television? If you want to raise your hands. Okay, so quite a lot. Out of those, did anyone switch off their mobile phone just to concentrate fully on the match? No. Out of those, did you share information with others that were not in the room? Did you post something on Facebook? Did you write SMS? Did you communicate? See, and that's exactly the behavior that is also represented by many studies, and that's exactly the market that we are in. There is parallel consumption next to the TV screen, and that is a new phenomenon that we have to, is disruptive in some way, and we have to look at more closely. And it affects basically all the parties involved. Party number one is the consumer. Obviously, technology exists, the availabilities are there. The question is, does he use it? Will he use it? Why will he use it? Or will he just not use it? So will he increasingly engage in television by having extra services and interaction with the screen, or will he just be distracted and do different things? So all these questions are to be answered and will define how this new second screen industry is going to evolve. And then there are the existing players, which is mainly the content owners, those that broadcast content on the first screen, on the television. How does that affect their business model? There's definitely the question of engagement versus distraction. Are the users now focusing on different things, or is it actually complementary, and does it even potentially enhance the TV viewing experience? So there's a whole new set of elements that they can look at: interactivity, making programs more interactive, engaging the user into the shows. There's also questions of loyalty programs that they might run through the second screens, or gamification elements. And last but not least, the most important thing probably is monetization. How will it affect the business model of the big broadcasters of the TV industry? And the ones that give the money, which are the advertisers. Even today, 20 years after the internet, TV advertising is still a €4 billion market net in Germany alone. So there will be effects on this industry as well. Are the campaigns effective if users are using different devices and have their eyeballs not on the main screen but on the second screen? Or might it even make sense to have cross-media campaigns adding the second screen next to the first screen? And all these different aspects that come up now with the new possibilities of the second screen. For example, and that's something that especially advertisers have always been longing for, suddenly they now have the back channel. They have the possibility to communicate one-to-one with the user, while previously television was just huge reach, but it was one way. So a lot of questions to be asked, and we as wywy have obviously set ourselves the goal to build a platform around this, to actually synchronize and link all the different parties involved. And starting from consumers to the advertisers to the existing players in the TV market, with our wywy monetization an engagement platform we want to make, to create this industry, to make the second screen experience worthwhile for all parties involved. And starting with the consumers, we have our own wywy app. If you haven't downloaded yet, it's available on Google Play and in the App Store. That's what we launched in Germany directly to the consumers, where people can interact, can chat, can check into shows. I'll come to that in a minute. Then we also look at the advertisers, where we have defined a product suite that combines these possibilities that come from the second screen. And obviously, we offer these technologies and services to the publishers, to those that have existing brands and reach out there in order to come out with a second screen strategy that suits their needs. For us, wywy, we see ourselves as a platform in the center of that. And what does that make so special, or what is so new about what we do? What we have set up from a technology perspective is that we are monitoring in real time the live TV signal 24/7. And based upon that information, we can then in real time match different content items against what has just been broadcast on the main screen. And on the one hand, that means we can identify what a user is watching. So basically, if you download our app, if you press the check-in button, it will listen, similar experience to what you know from Shazam for music. And after a few seconds, it will send the audio signal to our service. They will match it against the broadcast, and it will say, oh, you're watching ZDF Wetten Das or Sky Champions League. And then we have gained a lot of important data because we've made this one-to-one relationship between the consumer and the program he's watching. And more importantly, there's also a technical aspect of latency. We also know how much delay the user has in receiving his broadcast signal that will then allow us to have really synchronized interactions and synchronized content provided on the second screen. The second thing that we can derive from our technology is the fact that we recognize content. And that content could be anything, but most importantly, we focus currently on advertisements. So a TV commercial, the moment it is aired, we recognize it, and we know now Coca-Cola is being aired on ProSieben. And with this information, we have basically developed our product platform. The one is the app that's targeted at the consumer. You can check in automatically by the fact that we verify what the user is watching, and there's no cheating possible. We are actually able to be the first TV bonus program, a loyalty program, where you can actually collect points for watching television and redeem it against rewards afterwards. But there's also gamification elements, there's information elements, and it's continuously expanding. We are especially looking at new features that will make the engagement more attractive for the user. It's been launched for about a quarter now and constantly growing. On the publisher side, we believe that as a startup and as a small brand, we will not gain the whole market, but we are happy to give this technology and these modules away to those brands, broadcasters, existing players that have reach and that want to use it for creating their own second screen experiences. And we always have this core functionality of synchronization of both content and users that we offer to these players. And then what we focused on, especially recently, and which will be the core of our business model also, is the fact, where does the money come from? If there's an industry, there needs to be a monetization model out of this. And what we feel is the most tangible and the most likely revenue model based on existing spending behavior of advertisers is linking the second screen experience to the main screen experience and actually displaying synchronized advertisements the same second that an ad is displayed on TV on the second screen devices. So we have developed a product suite around this. We focus on dedicated second screen apps that can synchronize the advertisements when shown on the first screen, but we also go to different platforms because users might not use dedicated second screen apps, but nonetheless have their mobile device while watching TV. So we also go through real-time bidding into existing mobile inventory that is out there and synchronize it to the TV advertising. And there's other products like impulse purchases that can be triggered by this, and also a lot of monitoring and analysis tools, especially for those advertisers that are e-commerce and have a lot of digital users that find this effects of TV advertising on their campaigns very interesting. And that's basically my closing remark. That's what we're going to focus on. We have a huge disruption. We have a market with consumer use cases that is existing, and we seem to have monetization opportunities. We as YY will focus on shaping this industry, and I'm very much looking forward to the months and years ahead and seeing this develop. Thank you very much, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Tobias. So you will have some many downloads after this session. Any questions? Yes, go ahead. I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. How often do you do the signal checking? What about zapping? If there are some zapping addicts? And what about conversations when people are talking while watching TV? I mean, I like the approach.
So, first question was around check-ins. If you look at the use case, actually the person checks in after he has decided what to watch. While in the zapping mode, he will not check in, or there's not a lot of use case other than cheating. Yes, we do have our point system in case of loyalty, such that you cannot get endless number of points by just zapping around and collecting points, but it's linked to a certain time period of being actually checked into that show. So that comes to the zapping question, and the second question was chat and communication. Yes, that's it's not state of the art in the sense, that's why I didn't mention it. Nonetheless, it's one of the key use cases. TV has always been social, and the thing that is changing now is that the conversation is not only going on in the living room or with a peer group that you have around you, but the conversation is going on with other person watching the same channel at the same time. So it's actually, it increases the opportunities of communication. And while currently still a small use case, this is definitely and will be one of the key features for second screen applications also in the future.